Welcome to CUTV News Radio, where our hosts Doug Llewellyn and Jim Masters talk to today's top thinkers from all around the world to bring you information, inspiration, and thought-provoking ideas that you can put to use in your personal or professional life right now. Covering a broad range of topics, we dig deep to discover what makes today's top thinkers tick. CUTV News Radio. It's the show where ideas matter. And now, here's today's host, Jim Masters.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're live worldwide on the award-winning CUTV News Radio. This is your host, Jim Masters. It's 2 p.m. Eastern at the time of this live broadcast, and it is Monday, September 18th. It is 2017, and again, we thank you for joining us on our broadcast. We're always seeking out and finding and celebrating some of the most amazing, creative, forward-thinking, innovative, inspirational people you'll find on the globe. And we have the honor and pleasure of sharing these amazing people with you on our daily broadcast series of episodes and broadcasts on CUTV News Radio, which is a service of CUTV News. We are very, very excited to welcome somebody to our show who talks about inspirational and motivational and passionate and enthusiastic and a forward thinker, but also somebody who is an entrepreneur, somebody who, has seen a problem and sort of tackles it, has seen a void in society and has created something to make lives easier and better for people. I mean, those are some of the most successful people in the world, is when there is a problem that needs to be solved, or when there's something that is missing, that they're able to create something to fill in, or to create something that really answers the question, or actually gives people the opportunity to find a product or a service that didn't exist before, or that maybe has now been taken to the next level. Our very special guest is Claudia Harvey. Now, if you're not familiar with Claudia, she is, again, somebody who really is a forward thinker. She's been doing this for many, many years, and it's something that, again, when you come across people, you meet people in your life who are really motivated, who inspire you to do great things too, and that's exactly who Claudia Harvey is. She's an amazing person, and we're very honored to have her here on the show. She's with Digit Apparel, which is located in Canada. We're going to talk more about Digit Apparel. But she's had an incredible entrepreneurial journey. Personal and business growth continues to expand. She's learned from the best over the years. She's evolved, too, from pitcher to investor, and investing in other businesses, too, along the way. And she's going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about Digit Apparel. We're going to talk about everything that she does. But we're very excited to welcome her to our show. She was also on the Canadian version of Shark Tank. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, too. That's quite exciting. A lot of people know that, especially the American version here. But let's welcome Claudia Harvey to our program. Claudia, thank you so much for joining us on CUTV News Radio Live. It's a real honor and pleasure to have you with us, and we welcome you to the show today.
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much. It's my absolute pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me to the show.
You are very, very welcome. Love this name, Digit Apparel. Tell us about this. What was the brainchild, the vision, that aha moment where you said, I wanted to create this? And were you always an entrepreneur? And how did the idea sort of go from that seed to reality?
Well, often people have ideas by chance. And my friend had come over, and we were talking about how we were ruining our hands in the garden by just gardening, utility work, and both of us had manicures, and both of us like to take care of ourselves, but we also like to be very active outdoors. So we were saying how we were destroying our hands in the garden, and they should create a manicure protective gardening glove. So Digit was born based on basically Labor Day over beers on a barbecue, chatting about something that's in the world that could be made, that hasn't been yet made. So it's a Fufu-Shishi idea. You know, it's a ladies protective gardening glove for women with manicures. But when we researched it, the garden industry was growing by 17% a year, and the manicure nail spa industry was also growing. And the same people were growing in the garden, and they were getting their manicures done. So this little tiny niche of women who had more disposable income, that like to take care of themselves, was the market and the target that we were going for. So we created a manicure protective or a nail protective utility glove for ladies that specifically help ladies not bust through the fingertips and keep the debris away from the fingernails. So you're actually working with the glove, and you're not throwing the glove on with a traditional garden glove or utility glove you do. So that little teeny tiny idea germinated into creating a revolutionary glove, and we have an industrial design patent now on the glove in Canada, United States, Europe, and Australia. So that little germination just, sprung and seeded a much bigger idea, and that itself was the start of my entrepreneurial career. I had left the corporate world behind. I had 3 kids, and so that started the entrepreneurial career.
It's an amazing story, and even doing my research in preparation for today's broadcast, all of this really germinating, and it's funny, I said how the seed was planted, and you're talking about gardening, all over this barbecue on a Labor Day weekend, and really talking about all of this, and the fact that it's something that doesn't exist, and it was a problem, kind of like what I said in the intro. Took a problem and then found a way to correct it, to create something that answers the problem. And it's really cool that the concept of Dig It was really born almost in the backyard over beers. And sometimes those are some of the moments when some of the best things happen, right? Those are those really incredible moments when things can just develop rapidly.
Well, and we actually did take our time in researching, because we thought, well, is this just our need that we need to have filled, or is it something in the marketplace that other women, other people also have that need? So, you can think that you have the best idea since, sliced bread, but if the marketplace doesn't think so, then the idea is not going to go anywhere. So we did take our time to research the market and research what gloves were out there in the entire world, looking at what was out there. And we realized that there was this little niche that needed to be filled, and that industry, those 2 industries were growing, so that potentially could make a really great product. And that product sprung into other products and other ideas and concepts. So we're growing. We started in Canada, and we're now expanding into the United States tremendously this year.
Absolutely. So as I was saying, the discovery of really both industries, hand care and home gardening, merging them together, like you said, both were growth sectors. There was a huge gap in the market for women who wanted to protect their nails in the garden, and you're the then CEO, founder of Dig It Apparel. And for the audience, so they can sort of visualize what this is, it's really something that you specialize in manufacturing utility gloves for women that actually protect a woman's nails in the garden. And any DIY project, the gloves have that industrial design, patented pillow top protector that sits on top of the fingernail inside each fingertip. So all of that's been well thought out and strategized and planned. That allows, it cushions the nail with a form fit, and the unique design inhibits debris from actually getting into the nails. So you've really thought about every single aspect of this product, which is absolutely amazing. What I think is really cool, too, is that within 6 weeks of launching, you drew interest from 42 independent retailers in the beginning, and like you say, you've stretched even beyond across Canada. So obviously there really was a need for this, and again, you were able to fill that gap, which is tremendous. Again, this is really something that is very inspirational for people that are listening, who maybe are thinking about creating things and how it all can really come to be. So you're providing a source of inspiration. So what about this experience that you've had on what's called Dragon's Den, but here it's called Shark Tank? Tell us a little bit about
Right.
how did that all come to play, and what was that experience like for you, Claudia?
Well, Dragon's Den, it was quite a surreal experience. It was a wonderful experience. Dragon's Den was in its 4th season at the time, and my business partner had suggested that we go on Dragon's Den, and we were in the infancy of our business. And I have to say, it was her idea to go on, and I was are you kidding? We're going to go on national TV and be lambasted by these dragons who are sharks. And Kevin O'Leary, and he sat on Dragon's Den at the time. He's Canadian. He's now bounced into Shark Tank, but Mr. Wonderful, right? So, we knew Dragon's Den, and those poor people on TV, you think, oh my goodness, like I would never want to do that. So when my business partner suggested that we go on Dragon's Den, my first impulse was like, are you kidding? But we had a great product. We had trademarked ourselves. We had branding. We had some sales. So we were in the infancy of our business, and we also knew how to pitch. Both of us come from a sales and corporate environment. So we knew how to present ourselves and pitch an idea. So we practiced and we practiced and we practiced, and we went on to the show, and we thought we would be partnering with the female dragon, the woman dragon, which is Arlene Dickinson, but Kevin and Jim, 2 other dragons, decided that they wanted to vie for our attention and try to get a piece of our business. So we did partner with Kevin at the time. He what happens on air does not happen behind the scenes afterwards, but it was an amazing experience, and it catapulted the visibility of our company tremendously. So that 2 minutes worth on Dragon's Den, which was the #1 rated show on TV at the time in Canada, was worth approximately $80,000 in public relations. So it was wonderful. It brought people to us instead of us knocking on doors. It brought people to us and asking us for our product. So that was wonderful.
Incredible.
That was a great thing. So so throughout the years, we are independent, and we're also in Home Depot Canada and Lowe's Canada, and as I said, we're expanding into other independents as well. And into other countries as well. So it's been amazing. It's been a wonderful experience. Really, really great. But hard work.
Absolutely.
Like, even though a person can go on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, they still have to do the work behind the scenes. They just can't wait and sit back and think they're going to get orders coming in. You still have to do all your due diligence and all your work and launch new products and, continue with the business plan and the financial plan, the marketing plan. All that has to tie together. So all of that still is in the background. But certainly Dragon's Den was a wonderful experience for the company.
And it's all good to know all of that you have to have that strategizing and planning out, because sometimes people will have, they'll be the inventor, the creative, the person who created the item, but then sometimes you can realize that, oh, gee, I need this support system. I need all these other things to be in play. There's the businesses and the marketing and the promotion and the distribution, and there's all these other things that come into play, even though you have this great idea and this great product that you've come up with. If you don't have all those other ducks in a row, it might not be something that's ever going to come to pass, right?
Well, I can almost say for certain it won't come to pass. One, you have to have the back end. You have to have the support and the logistics, the operations to manage the idea and grow the idea. And you have to have the cash flow to be able to grow the idea. So marketing, business, finance all kind of work together to get an idea off the ground. And if you don't have one of those pieces of the triangle, it's not going to work. It absolutely will not work. So a lot of companies bootstrap right from the very beginning. They put their own money in, and we did as well. But we also planned, and we became strategic on how we were going to tackle the marketplace and tackle new products and whatnot. So, and then that also has developed into other things with the company. So having an original idea is wonderful. It's absolutely crucial to have a niche idea in today's marketplace. But if you don't know how to bring that idea to fruition, then you need to find people to help you to do that if you've got a great idea.
Absolutely. What's really, really special about your story, too, Claudia, is the fact that everything was really launched during the recession. So to be able to sort of sail through that, people have fallen in love. Customers I know tell you all the time they love the product. And as you've alluded to in the beginning, expanding significantly in the United States. And you say that really the only way that can be happening is the customers have to love the product and continue to love it, and you evolve over time and always look at new opportunities for growth, right? You don't just get stuck on just that one product, the excitement of the response to that one product. You almost have to keep evolving and looking for other new things in addition to continuing the maintenance of the original product, right? There's a lot to it.
Yes, and then there's tweaking of the original product, and then you have to stay in your brand, so you create new products that are aligned with the brand that you're trying to promote and create. We did launch in the recession. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's probably a good thing because
that's right. That's
right. Yeah, because the recession had started, but both my business partner and I don't think realized the depth of how the recession was going to affect North America. In Canada, it didn't affect us as much as it did in the United States. So we were a little bit more of an insular bubble, but it certainly does affect because Canadian economy is affected by the U.S. economy, no doubt. But no, we figured if we could ride the recession and we did okay, then when the recession bounced off, we will be just fine. And that's exactly what happened. So it was touch and go at times
and for you
the company.
Yeah, absolutely. But you haven't given up, and you didn't give up, and it has just continued to expand. And just so the audience knows, you're actually taking moment out of a very, very busy day. You're in Cleveland, Ohio, at a convention, marketing, promoting the products, sampling it out. So it is, keep out there, keep connecting, networking, showing the product, telling what it's all about, the advantages. So we appreciate your doing that, taking this half hour live with us as you're on location there at the convention in Cleveland. Also, what's really, really special, too, is since that appearance on Dragon's Den, or as we know here in America, Shark Tank, you've also become a public speaker on entrepreneurship and women's empowerment, speaking on international stages, too, with influencers such as Tony Robbins and Mark Victor Hansen and more. That has to be not only cool, but very exciting and probably beyond any expectations you ever originally had, right?
It's wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. The opportunity of Dig It coming off of Dragon's Den opened up a whole new world with the opportunity for me to go on stages and talk to people. And in my sales career in the past, I had spoken to groups, in sales, you speak to people all the time, and, groups of 20, 30, 50, 100 even, but I hadn't done that in a long time. I was in operations in Dig It, and I was in operations in my last corporate job, so I forgot how much I enjoyed speaking. So when I was asked to do some keynote speaking just on the topic of being on Dragon's Den, because it was a hot topic at the time, and Dragons was such a predominant show on Canadian TV, but as I was speaking, nervous, of course, being in front of people. My first stage was 400 people, and I was nervous, but then I saw people nodding their heads and laughing at my jokes, and it was just such joy to be able to tell people the story and inspire people and answer people's questions, and that gave me incredible joy. And from that stemmed a whole other path, a new path of a career in speaking and empowering other people and speaking on stages where I'm now speaking in front of thousands of people. And it's absolutely wonderful, incredibly, incredibly wonderful. And it all started from the story of getting out of your comfort zone and leaving my corporate job behind because I needed balance and freedom to handle my families and be with my 3 kids and my husband. And I didn't want to be stuck to the corporate world anymore. But it's a leap of faith to be able to do that and starting your own business, and then what that opportunity allows. So it's all intertwined in my story when I talk on stage, and a lot of it is aimed towards women, because women often need an idea, a person, a hope, an inspiration to just nudge them to the next level, and then who knows where they can go with that. So I've had lots of people come back to me and say that I've been helping them, but unbeknownst to me, just because of the story that they saw 2 years ago when I was on stage. And that just brings amazing joy to me. It's wonderful. And then from that, other opportunities have also stemmed. So I'm an entrepreneur through and through now. I have 3 businesses, or 3 pieces of equity and other businesses. And it's been an amazing journey, I must say. Just wonderful.
And what's really, again, fascinating about all of this as well is that, as you've continued that entrepreneurial journey, as I've mentioned, and that personal and business growth for you continues to expand. You've learned, from the best over the years, and you've actually evolved from a pitcher to an investor, as you mentioned, other companies and other products and other things you're involved in, investing in other businesses such as Let It Go, and you also created On the Verge to meet the needs of business owners seeking advice, consulting company where any size business can receive advice and guidance in their business. So, again, pitcher to investor, that is an incredible progression there too.
It's I never thought 8 years ago when I was going on the stage on Dragon's Den that would happen. But learning from the best and baptism by fire, learning how to run a business and running a successful business, and then surrounding yourself with people that can support you and help you on your journey, that is a crucial part of learning and developing and looking at opportunities and not being fearful of opportunities, even if you're nervous about opportunities, but just sort of stepping through that door and taking that step forward. But also surrounding yourself with wonderful people that can teach you. And the current business partner I have in Dig-It, who's been absolutely fantastic support, and he's a person that I'm growing with, and it's been great. But 8 years ago, I never would have thought that. It was pitching on Dragon's Den with this little tiny idea, with this little tiny business, thinking I would, if we make $40,000 a year, that would be great. But it's evolved since then, and it's just doing the ride and seeing how far it goes, and determining what your idea of success is, what your personal definition of success is extremely important, because my definition of success was completely different than someone else's. I left the corporate world, left the salary behind, and left my comfy, beautiful lifestyle because I wanted to manage my kids and I wanted to be successful with my children and my family. And that, to me, was my definition of success at the time. At the same time, I launched Dig-It, but I had no idea where this journey would take, where it would go. But everybody has to have their own idea of success and follow their heart and their dream or their ways of managing their own lifestyle without having judgment from other people to try and manage what you need to do to manage your life and with your idea of success, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Now, the customers, the people who are actually using the product, the people who have a thirst for more from the company, what is some of the feedback? And obviously, we've been talking about the feedback from the retailers and other investors and people that want this product to be in their locations and they want to be participating in this incredible ride. But the consumers, what has their response been, and what are some of the incredible pieces of feedback? Maybe you've got a testimonial or things that really stand out for you that have just blown you away in terms of the feedback from the consumer.
Well, often a woman would come up and look at our display or look at our gloves and say, nail protection, I don't get it. What's the difference between your glove and any other glove? Because the nail protector is built inside the glove, so you can't see it from the outside. So we explain that the nail protection sits on top of a lady's fingernails and inhibits debris, but until a lady actually puts her hands in the gloves, then she goes, oh, I get it. This makes sense. What a great idea. Yeah. And that's almost 100% of the time that's what happens. It's a texture thing. It's a feeling. And then the form fit of the glove plus the pillow top protector plus the double reinforced stitching, and it just supports a woman's need to be active and active lifestyle. So the products that we're developing are meeting that need to be active in lifestyle, but also protection. It was almost everybody does. They put their hands in the glove and go, oh, now I get it. so that's good. Yeah. That's a good reaction.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to visually say that in a graphic, but it's a good reaction. It's a good testimonial.
Right, exactly, and that's perfect for the feedback allows you to keep a good thing going, but it also allows you to tweak things if you need to. I mean, consumer feedback or feedback from any segment is really important and valuable, right? You can't write it off. You can't say, well, no, we're doing it just our way and that's it.
Right.
You really need to
Absolutely.
listen to the consumer, listen to the people who are supporting whatever it is you're delivering to them, right?
That's right. Totally 100% right. So, we tweaked the glove over the course of the years, and even this year we're just a smidgen increasing the finger lengths of the glove for production for next year, for spring of next year. So we're in production now for spring of next year to meet the demands of the stores for next year. That's the sales cycle. It's at least 6 months to 9 months ahead of time. So we've, even now, like we're 7 years, 8 years later, we're tweaking the glove to still hear what women are saying, that they need this and they need this and they need this. So great, you do. It takes time to do that, to develop your product and to tweak it. And you don't want to listen to everybody's feedback, because everybody has a way of making your product better, because they seem to have opinions, right? Everybody has opinions. But if you hear something again and again and again, and that's when you need to sit back and think, okay, we need to address this. So, always take it with a grain of salt what people are saying. But if they're saying it again and again, then that's something that you need to listen to and hear. And then also when people are talking about the usage of the glove, some people, I never thought that when we were creating the garden gloves, we were thinking that they would be motorcycle gloves. Well, some people use it for tinkering with their motorcycle. They use it for tinkering with their car, for, gas. There's all kinds of ways that people are talking about using the gloves when they come and talk to me at shows or when they've seen me. And they go, oh, yeah, I used it for this, and this purpose. I'm like, hey, send me a picture. I'd love to put that on Facebook. That'd be great. Let me see the gloves in action in a different way. That'd be super. So I love that feedback when people come to me and say they've used it for this. I had one woman say they used it on their barbecue, and I'm like, no, please don't. They're not fire repellent. Please don't use them on the barbecue. That's the only thing they say. Don't do that.
They love it so much they want to use it all day long.
Yeah, they thought it was really funny. I'm like, no, I don't advocate that. Please don't do that.
They want to use it if they do dishes by hand, so they don't get that quote unquote dish pan hands. I mean, it's funny.
They can like the hands certainly can get wet, but it's mainly debris. It's mainly to keep your fingernails protected and your hands not beaten up when you're using it for anything. So, yeah, but it's quite funny hearing people's feedback.
It is. The website is terrific, too. I was perusing that in preparation for the show, digitapparel.com. I just think that's such a perfect name. Even in strategizing what the name would be, it's a cool name, it's modern, it's contemporary, but at the same time, it is what it is. It explains sort of what the product actually is. So you've really done a great job there as well. So I encourage folks to check out the website, learn more about the product, learn more about Claudia and the team, everybody involved in this. It's really a tremendous story, and you'll be back with us. I can't believe the half hour's gone already. This is like...
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's quite fun.
Really, really, really super fast. Yeah, absolutely. But you will be back next week as well, and we thoroughly look forward to that. We'll dig in, pun intended, a little deeper and expand a little bit more and everything. That's right. Claudia Harvey of Digit Apparel, thank you so very much for joining us on the show today. We appreciate your time.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Jim.
You are very, very welcome. Enjoy the convention in Cleveland. Have a great time. And everybody, I'm Jim Masters, CUTV News Radio. Thank you for joining us as well. We hope you enjoyed the show. Claudia will be back with us next week. Have a great day.
You've been listening to CUTV News Radio. If you want to learn more about our programming or perhaps be considered for a future show, visit us on the web at www.cutvnews.com. And if you enjoyed listening to today's show, subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, and be sure to write a review. Thanks for listening, and from all of us at CUTV News Radio, we hope you have a productive and inspired day.